Have our boys escaped from harm? Will they reach France safely? Tune in next time to find out.
Welcome, everyone, to Dutchman Cruise Lines. I'm your captain, Matthias720, and we will be sailing the seas with our jolly crew today.
Does Dutchman Cruise Lines have good pie rates?
Well, I mean, there is a lot of buried treasure to be dug up, so.
Won't cost you an eye or an arm either.
Where's the overnight? Is there a midnight buffet? That's why I came on, because I heard there was a really good midnight buffet.
Yes, but it'll cost you an arm and a leg.
Oh, well.
So, basically like a regular cruise.
Why don't you just take an eye? I don't need them.
Aye.
Actually, it'll cost you a fucking ear.
Oh, dear.
Beginning of that word sounded very different through the thing.
It did.
I was like, wait a minute. It took me a second.
And moving it back where we covered the third of the Castways of the Flying Dutchman, Angel's Command. Where we actually get 2 Angel's Commands.
Dun, dun, dun!
Yes.
This Angel's very bored. Yeah, can we take odds that this is Gonf? Because it's still doing poetic language.
Gonf, are you bugging those humans again? No.
Well, at least in the audiobook, the voice was rather androgynous and very much not in line with Gonf, so I'll say
what
no.
Rose and Columbine are doing when they get bored.
That could work.
But yes, if you're just joining us, yes, we're not back to Redwall. We will before the end of the year, but now we're taking October off as we usually do. And last time on Dutchman Z, we're only a couple of years removed from the Angel, saying, hey, you two are cool, but all of you guys are banished to roam the seas and only the seas.
Achievement unlocked, you are immortal.
But you still have to eat. And so the last time they were on these Buccaneer ships, and they were getting chased across the Atlantic. I almost said the Pacific. On the La Petite Marie under these French Buccaneers.
Yep.
And they were being chased by an English privateer, Captain Percy.
Yep.
And but before we could see how that resolves, which is actually kind of funny, and what we get to see later, we have Captain Spooky Face, Vanderdecken, is trying to get Ben off the ship.
Ooh, I'm a ghost!
Yes. Yes, he's a ghost. And, but yeah. Thankfully, Theron and Ned are like, hey, knock it off.
Yep.
And Theron grabs him and hugs him. It's like, hey, what were you seeing out there?
Con!
Only not that high pitched. Yes. Apparently, yeah, Vanderdecken's like, or not Vanderdecken. Ben's like, it was totally Captain Vanderdecken of the Flying Dutchman. Yep. You drank seawater, didn't you?
It's like, Ben, I told you not to drink the stuff in the bottle underneath the bed.
No, he's actually very open to hearing what the kid has to say. And there's no one listening at the door.
I was going to say, they should have checked that.
Yeah.
They really should have checked that.
Oh, I'm sure nobody's listening through the broken window.
Loudly, they're not listening through the broken window.
Is anyone listening to us? No.
Okay,
all right then.
It's only I keep wanting to call him Gaston, even though that's not his name.
No, canon accepted. It's Gaston. They are French. Just saying.
No one eavesdrops like Gaston.
I wrote something like that in my notes. No one's a blight like Gascon. No one incites like Gascon. No one turns as quick to flight like Gascon.
I'm sorry, I stole your pun.
No.
No problem.
So yeah,
If he
Ben
drove a
and Ned-
car, he'd always be asking, "Where'd all my gas gone?"
Oh
Yeah.
no.
So Ben and Ned basically tell their very friendly captain the whole truth,
And nothing
And-
but the truth.
he believes them. And yes,
Shockingly, yes.
this our Gaston, and I'm calling him from now on. Hears everything and he's freaked out. But back to Captain Prissy, who apparently had Ludon whipped for no good reason.
Well, yeah.
So, excuse me, it's Captain Prissy McFussy Dingus the Fourth.
Esquire.
I haven't gotten there yet.
We're still calling Captain Prissy, even if yes, listeners, it's actually Red Jack Teal. But
Yes.
I forgot what his actual name is.
Captain
Oh.
Jonathan Ormsby Teal.
Yes. Indeed.
nicknamed Red Jack for the coat he wears, because
And I just
he
can't.
just wants to cosplay as a British sailor, guys.
I can't stop picturing him as an evil hare though, because the voice actor plays all the hares, and he's playing Red Jack Teal, and I'm just like, you're just a bad hare.
Oh, so he's Scarab.
Yes.
Oh, you guys, you will never miss an opportunity to go after Scarab, will you?
Nope.
I'll always find a way to scare him up at opportunity.
Yeah, I figured. And I did notice Jeremy in notes. You want to know what the heck this guy was drinking?
Yeah,
I had to Google it.
Aha. So what is it Madeira? Is that how it's pronounced? Or Madeira?
Madeira, yeah.
Well, it's a Portuguese island that has changed nation hands a few times, but it's known for its wines. So he is day drinking.
Oh,
Yep.
excellent. I love how he's British and he's drinking Spanish wine.
Portuguese.
Or whatever.
You must have all the finest things. For
Yes,
he is a British captain.
Yes, I'm an official British captain. The acceptance paperwork's gonna come in, right, guys?
Oh no. Now I have this picture in my head. He's dancing through the Swiss Alps, singing about his favorite things.
Oh, no.
These are a few of my favorite drinks.
But yeah, he has Ludon comes in. He's like, and he had him whipped for no good reason. It's like, oh, I just did to discipline you. It's only 2 strokes of the cat. Cat of 9 Tails is a vicious whip designed to rip flesh from people. Okay, yeah.
When
I'm
a
sure.
Ludon comes along, you must whip him.
Apparently. He's just like, okay, now tell me the truth. And Ludon's like, well, he's sailing back to France in some random, how do you say this town?
Arcachon?
Thank you. Arcachon. And he's going to give up the buccaneering life. And he doesn't have enough gold. He's going to live like a true gentleman there with the land and a chateau. It's like, so how much gold does he possess? His weight. He points at the bosun.
It's like, that's a lot of gold.
Yeah.
And I do like how Prissy even says, like, how much gold? And don't tell me that he's got tons of it buried everywhere or whatever. Just tell me literally how much gold does he actually have? Because I don't know about you, but I didn't trust the last guy that told me about it.
Yeah, he's definitely one up on Vila Descar, who's just like, treasure! Luke has treasure! I don't care how much it is!
Oh, and, oh, well, that much gold, huh? Well, I'll take it all back to England with 3 ships when I capture this guy's ship. I'll rename this vessel the Royal Champion, and they'll make me an admiral. Yay!
Delusions of grandeur much?
Yeah.
Yeah. Red
I
Jack
just
sure is-
picture the
ahead.
guy from Hamilton, like he got promoted to an admiral. He's like, I'm an admiral! Whee!
Yeah, Red Jack sure is confident, ain't he? I'm sure this won't bite him in the end. Not at all.
Of course not.
Nope. Well, luckily
And-
he's got his very loyal and loving crew.
I
'Cause
mean,
he
after all,
deserves
he
it.
is the jolly captain.
And then Ludon's like, well, I'm kind of a prisoner here, so the smart thing to do would be to listen to this crew who is obviously planning a mutiny and join up with them. But no, I'm going to relay all their mutiny to the captain and get myself well loved that way.
I see this turning out perfectly for him. He's going to end this story rich and living in harmony, and it's going to suck to be him soon.
Yep.
So,
I think Loudon should have been named Judas originally, but that wasn't French enough, and Benedict Arnold hadn't been born yet.
Well.
But yeah, we find out this crew really hates Captain Sir Prissy McFussy Snootmeyer Dingus the Fourth, Esquire.
Just keep adding names, don't you?
yes, he does.
That was the goal.
And even the crew is just like so. I mean, they're happy to head back to England, but I'm not really sure they want to do it with this guy. And yes, they're planning a mutiny.
Yeah,
because crossing the Atlantic gets very boring, as we're pointed out. As we're one sentence will point out.
Yeah.
And here's where this seems to happen over only a couple of days that they chug over the Atlantic. Or did I read that wrong?
I think they've been traveling for a little bit now. Have they? Hadn't they already been going for a little while?
Possibly, but the Atlantic crossing normally takes 3 months in ships of the.
Smoke bomb.
Yeah, we're not quite to the Azores yet, which I think was somewhere around the halfway to 2/3 point. So they've probably been underway at least a month, probably 6 weeks.
Okay.
And
but by the end of this section, they are back to mainland Europe. But
yeah, that's kind of a fast trip, one chapter for 3 months.
Fast travel has been enabled.
Yep.
They unlocked the fast sail.
Not to get too political here, but the way that the dichotomy between Red Jack and his tastes and the way that he wants to live versus how he treats the crew and the crew's attitude towards him, it seems like a rather scathing indictment from Brian on the elite and the wealthy in their pursuit of more wealth and power. And we know from his backstory last episode that he's a man who lost his luxury and is now looking to make it back as easily as possible, regardless of who he has to step on to get it. So I might be reading into things a little bit, but that's at least my initial impression on his characterization.
Oh, no, I totally get that, because in the Redwall series too, like even if they find glorious jewels and stuff, they end up throwing it away or like donating it to some sort of cause. So yeah, I do think that he's sort of making a commentary on wealth is not all it's cracked up to be, and it just leads to corruption and death and all that.
Well, I mean, you could at least make a better argument that in this franchise, wealth does have a purpose. Where in Redwall, we don't even know what kind of economy they have. So why are all these vermin leaders want all the treasure?
It's shiny.
Ah. That's fair.
Ooh, shiny things.
Indeed.
I mean, that explains General Ironbeak and his ravens, but not so much. Bad Red, and give me your magic sword.
Well, it's a magic sword.
I don't know, guys. Maybe we shouldn't invade the Savvy.
Zoinks! Bad Red.
Back to the Dutchman.
Or
Theron's like, well, that's an interesting story. I believe you, but don't spread it around to the crew. Right, Gaston? Right, boss?
We especially don't want Gascon finding out about it. Right, Gascon? Yes, boss. And we run into a ship out of the Indian Ocean. Al Kirkuman? However you pronounce it, he sounds like because it's PG rating, he's a jerk-faced jerk.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a slaver.
Yeah.
He is a full-on slave trader.
And
so,
being a slaver ship, it's not handled as terribly as it could have been. It could have been better, though I will give Brian credit for it being period correct for a certain extent. Because even though the French did have colonies with slavery, they didn't have many slaves home side. So Theron's more cavalier, I'm not going to let anything happen to you, Ben, or any of my crew. You're safe. It's like, yeah, that makes sense. I can buy that.
But yeah, it's a short encounter. They encounter this quote Barbary Corsair. It's a slave ship, the Flame of Tripoli,
Mm-hmm.
and the captains are like, "Hey, what's up? What's up? So I'm on my way to do this. Oh, we're on the way to do this. Oh,
I'm on my
okay."
way to clothe the poor. Oh, that's wonderful. Wink, wink.
So yeah, cabin boy, is he for sale? No,
Boy for sale.
no, no, he's not. Oh, okay, whatever. So I'm running away from the Greek Navy, so be careful if they're in the local area, okay?
If you
Okay.
see them, tell them you didn't see me. Of course I won't. Oh, hi, Greek Navy. Yeah, he went that way.
Is pretty much literally how it goes.
Yeah, I was very happy with that part where he's like, yeah, he went that way. If you speed up, you can catch him. Yes!
And
I
Theron
like
has
how
the
Theron-
sense to...
I
Sorry.
do like how Theron handles this too, where he's just very level-headed and just like, yeah, he just kind of plays the game along with Al Kirkuman or whatever his name is.
And he
Uh,
pretends Ben is his son, doesn't he? Like he's like,
Yeah.
oh, I can't sell my son. What are you, crazy?
Yep.
Um,
Like, your son, why does he look nothing like you? You know?
He's adopted, you jerk.
Yeah. Be like, my wife said he looks just like me. Of course, sometimes she thinks I'm the mailman, but
Oh.
Ouch.
Oh my goodness.
Let's go with the positive version and say he's adopted. Okay? Okay.
There's a really great moment too. Ned is just hanging out on deck next to Theron and Ben, and he's just like, as the slaver sails away, it's like, you didn't notice me. And Ben relays this to the captain, and the captain's like, well, you should be glad he wouldn't. He would have ended up as dinner over there, which makes Ned kind of sulky.
That is just a joy this entire section of the book. He is so snarky.
I love his handsome and intelligent pose.
Yes.
Earlier on, where Theron's like, he is very handsome and intelligent, and Ned's like, yes, I am, and he like strikes a pose.
I'm the
think-
noblest of dogs.
Ned the Noble.
I think all dogs have that. My dog definitely. I had a little kiddie pool for her at one point when I had a apartment with a patio, and she would just sit in there in the pool, and then when other dogs would pass by, she would sit up a little straighter, like cock her head to the side and be like, I have a pool. Do you have a pool? My pool is the best pool.
Jealous much?
Yeah.
I do like how when Penn refers to him as Naughty Ned, Terror of the High Seas.
Yes.
He is fantastic. Ned is a treat this entire time.
Oh, yes. And Theron's like, well, if we're about to run into the Greek Navy, we should probably hoist the official French colors and pretend to be a merchant ship. Like,
Yeah.
why would you do that to start? Because it's basically an invitation for pirates to come your way,
Yeah.
is the reason.
Yep.
So he's like, okay, if we're going to run to the Greek Navy, let's have the French official colors. Oh, hi, Greek Navy.
Yep. And
Yep.
he's like, yeah, you know that slaver you're looking for? That way. He totally went that way. We haven't seen him at all. He went that way.
Okay, thanks.
Yep. And Theron has the silver tongue, where he's able to talk his way out of this. And it shows that, like, unlike both the other captains we've seen throughout this section of the book, he's not an idiot.
No.
Yes.
And he actually gets along with his crew, at least initially, in this section.
Right.
And he does, even when he doesn't, he still at least likes his crew and he cares about them and tries to understand any issues they might have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, he's responsible.
He's almost a more benign version of Clog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, go for that. Although, if we're talking about who the true hero was, it was Ned.
Oh,
Oh, yep. Where he could tell the captain was afraid of dogs. Just went, "Arr." All right, okay, you guys can go on ahead. See ya.
Yep.
And there's that Greek captain that night's like, can't sleep. Doggo, get me. Can't sleep.
I actually got attacked by a dog once. I was walking to work.
Well, that's not good.
Fortunately, the owner was nearby, and I had blah, blah, can't talk. I had an umbrella in my hand, so I was able to just kind of on guard, keep it at bay until the owner could arrive. But it was just like, I have no idea why this dog attacked me. So I can definitely relate to the Greek captain of, I'm going to stay over here. You have a good day now.
And like I said, in chapter 13, we literally start with the Diablo Del Mar has been renamed the Royal Champion.
Yep.
Okay. And
we get the most straightforward, obvious line in the book. Ludon was not an educated man. Really?
I mean,
No.
we basically point out that crossing the Atlantic is going to get boring at some points. So, and whereas intelligent captains would have some sort of diversion for their crews to pass the time, Captain Prissy decides, okay, well, clean everything and then clean it again, and keep cleaning until I say not so.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Well.
Oh, yeah. So
Go ahead.
I actually had a note about that, too. There's the pirate, or one of Theron's crew, Malin, who is... I kind of like his whole bit with Ben, where Ben is keeping an eye out for the Greek ship, and Malin climbs up into the lookout post with him and starts telling him this dark story about a guy that was hung and died slowly while being hung. It's that's what happens to pirates. I'm a pirate. It's all I'll ever be. If you'll excuse me, I need to let my hair down over one of my eyes and listen to Panic at the Disco.
Oh, God.
Hang on. This is my favorite Linkin Park song. Crawling in my skin.
And, yeah. And then Theron's like, yeah.
Scurvy, it will not heal.
Ugh.
Yeah, so I do like, though, that he even accepts what he is, where he's like, you can call people buccaneers or this, but everyone just sees them as pirates. I think that was a very intelligent thing from his part. Look, we can gussy it up however we want. At the end of the day, we're all pirates.
And if the French Navy catches us, they're not going to make that distinction.
Yeah.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he's just straight up a goth.
I
Oh, yes.
generic rage.
But chapter 13 begins, like I said, with kind of the boring part of crossing the Atlantic. There's not a lot to do on the Royal Champion because Prissy Pants is not a smart captain. Yeah. And moreover, he's not even eating the same food his crew are eating. He's well dining all the time while his crew get the scraps. Is he trying to foment a mutiny?
I think he's just too stupid to notice, honestly.
He's royalty in his mind.
Yeah.
So he's basically like, you commoners are beneath me. Now, spit shine my boots.
We then get this conversation from the master gunner saying that it's my guns have always been clean. Nobody has ever accused me of having a dirty gun aboard. I'm sorry. Is that supposed to be innuendo? Am I the only one who picked up on this? If so, I will go sit in the corner for a little while.
Go sit in the corner for a while.
But yes, meanwhile, Ludon is scheming the whole time, and by carrying every mutinous thought back to the captain, who hands out punishments, and a crew is completely onto this. Let's be honest, they know what's happening, and they know. I wonder if this will come back to bite Ludon in any way.
No, but it will come back to stab him.
Yeah. And then we get the best song in the entire book.
Yes. Oh, and there are... How many songs are there? Songs and poems, there are 8. And I didn't count the Angel's Command in that. Commands, plural.
But it is so good. Especially the audiobook. Katie, back me up on this. It is the funniest thing.
It is definitely. I was just like, I remember this.
How does it end in the audiobook? Because like the way it's described in the book is like Joby's voice trailed away and the fiddle gave a discordant screech as the bow trailed over its strings.
Oh, hi,
There-
Captain.
There definitely wasn't a discordant screech, but it just kind of ended abruptly, as I remember.
Yeah, he just kinda-
basically they take that the Jolly Captain and rewrite the lyrics on the fly to make fun of their captain and saying they want to kill him.
Yep. And his father was a pygmy, lads, and his mother was a sow. They
Yes.
sent him off
Your
to
father
sail
was a
in-
hamster and your mother smelt of elderberries.
Hurrah, 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 me boys. He feeds us naught but swill. He makes us taste the rope's end. That's why all hands look ill.
Yep.
Oh, and hi, Captain. Didn't you like
Yeah.
the song?
You know what? I like this song. How about you, Teal? Oh.
Now, here's the thing. A smart captain of the day would probably take the carpenter's mate who had sang this and quietly have a word with him, at least. But no, Captain Percy does not take this well. He not only punishes the singer, he literally jumps up and down like a child on top of the fiddle.
He
till it
throws a
breaks.
prissy fit.
He does. I approve of that one.
Now, remember, at the beginning of this chapter, I had mentioned that on this ship, the captain has not bothered to give his men distractions so they don't get bored on the transatlantic voyage. He's just taken away one of the few distractions they do have.
Yep.
I want a conversation between two of them now. Man, I'm bored. Want a mutiny? Sure.
Yeah.
Just like casual. Like, yeah, let's do that.
You ever wonder why you were here?
Pretty much.
Oh, and you three who are laughing and maybe mutinying, you're going to go on the other ship that's trailing, and you're going to stand at the crow's nest of each masthead, but you're going to get half rations, and and you have to do it barefoot.
Yep. And while you're doing that, I'm going to send the guy that told me all the bad things you have been saying about me over there too. I'm sure you guys will get along just fine.
Slumber party.
And Ludon's like, I didn't do that. I totally didn't do that. You believe me,
Like
right, guys?
everyone is all these evil eyes looking at him like, I'm going to die, aren't I? Oh, yes.
You're that kid who always runs to the teacher to report everything that kids are doing, aren't you?
So Ludon's a tattletale?
Yes.
Snitches
Oh.
get stitches.
Okay, this might be a little after Pete and Jeremy's time watching Saturday morning cartoons,
Mhm.
but Disney's Recess.
Oh, I
There's-
watched that.
Okay, you got Randall, Miss Finster, Miss Finster,
Oh,
and
yeah.
literally everything. So much so, and he was like a self-avowed snitch, that he would sometimes be implicated in schemes just because the kids knew he would snitch, and they could use that to their advantage. It was the greatest thing.
You know, there is the phrase loose lips sink ships. I wonder if that will come to pass.
Mm.
I wonder.
So, meanwhile, back on the boat where the crew isn't planning against our captain yet, they find land and fruit and food, and now Gascon is going to be bad for him, and he's gone.
Yep.
And he took some of our gold, so we can't just let him go.
Kill him. Yep.
And
That's-
I have to wonder. I mean, our captain here could have said, "Hey guys, he took some of your gold. Kill him!" And yeah, he could have gotten more crew, but no, he actually only takes a limited party to do this. But okay, it takes him 3 days.
Yeah, I do like before he captures him. Ned gets a good one-liner where they're listening to one of the sailors sing, and Ned says, "Look at the singer. He's a whiskery old doormat with an eye patch and only one tooth in his head." And Ben's like, "Shame on you, criticizing others just because you're a handsome dog." And he goes, "Cruel but beautiful. That's me." Oh, Ned.
Yeah, everyone says, "Oh, Ned," and then the canned laughter.
Yeah.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
Yeah.
And I mean, I get it. Gascon overheard Ned and Ben's backstory. He's scared out of his mind. That doesn't excuse thieving from the gold stash, though.
Yeah. Especially
Oh.
on an island. It sounds like the island they're on is deserted. What was he going to do with the gold? I'm going to pay the wildlife to bring me to shore. Hello, Mr. Rat down there wearing a pair of clogs. Will you give me a ride on your ship?
He'll be king of the squirrels.
Oh, I mean Stoat wearing clogs. Sorry. Sorry,
Ah.
Clog.
How dare you, said Clog.
I messed it. I apologize. And you, Mr. Crazy Rat with all the plates in your beard, maybe you can give me a hand when you're done polishing that bell. I wonder if some of the characters in Redwall are just a result of some crazy person on an island that Jake's overheard, like, rambling.
I don't know.
Yeah, so Theron does find him and locks him up, but as Gascon is being dragged away, he starts shouting how Ben and Ned are bad luck and they're doomed. Doomed!
They're, quote, Jonahs.
Mm-hmm. I
Yep.
don't know what that means.
It's a biblical reference. We'll get to that, but the short version is that there's a story in scripture where a person is eaten by a giant fish and somehow survives in the belly for 3 days.
Pinocchio?
Pinocchio takes a lot of inspiration from it, actually.
Ah.
But
Yeah, so like he didn't listen to God, and so he was trying to run away from God. And
oh
so,
no, God's like, you have one job.
Yeah.
Don't mess this up. And
And-
Jonah's just like, screw you, I'm gonna do what I want.
and then there was a big,
it.
and there was like a big storm, and everyone's like, "What's going on?" And then they figure out that it's Jonah that's causing all this bad luck, and so they throw him overboard, and then he gets eaten by a fish.
Oops.
Okay. And the fish upchucks him on the shore where he's supposed to be.
Yep.
And God's like, you gonna do it yet? I'm thinking about it. Make me get the fish.
Don't make me get the fish.
And I think the most important part is God told him, hey, go tell these people to repent. I don't want them to repent. I hate them. I want to see you judge them. I'm telling you to go do it. I don't want to, Daddy. You're going, and I'm going to make you.
You have one job. I don't want to do it. Is basically how this story goes for a while. And then when the people actually repent and Jonah doesn't get the fire and brimstone he was going to watch and eat popcorn with, yeah, he's
He
like,
got mad.
"What?" Yeah, he's like, hey, I was fire and brimstone. Well, they repented. But death and destruction. Yeah.
So it basically comes down to they're calling Ben and Ned Jonahs because they're the cause of all their misfortune on the sea. Because that's what happened with Jonah.
Yep.
Yep.
The more you know.
Indeed.
You know. Do 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 do.
So, that all said, oh yeah, so Gascon's like, yeah, they're cursed. Cursed! And Theron's like, I'll go put him in the anchor storage.
So we then find out that even though these guys were stuck there for 3 days, well, it's too that Captain Sir Prissy McFuzzy Snootmeyer Stuffy Pants Dingus the Fourth Esquire has passed by.
He overshot his target. Hey, is that France? Yeah, but we don't have anything to worry about yet.
Oh, and Ludon's dead. I would say R.I.P. I would say R.I.P. Ludon, but he deserves no peace.
Yeah.
He's a terrible person.
Oh well.
Where's the French guy? Where's the French guy? I don't know. Are you sure? It looks like you have something in your eye. I'm fine. Really? Whatever you say.
Yeah, when Captain Percy questions them, hey, what happened to that French guy?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, but I like he laughs about it. He's like, oh well, guess he's dead. And the trio are like, I totally thought he was going to court-martial us. Cool, let's get some food. Nobody cares about Ludon.
Bye, Ludon.
Nothing
You know,
of
speaking
value
of which,
was
I could
lost.
go for some udon noodles.
And so, yeah.
Looks like udon is Lugan.
Uh,
And if it wasn't copyrighted, I would put the CSI. Yeah.
Hang on, let me go grab a pair of sunglasses to put on.
Yeah. So, yeah, the crew is apparently like listening to Gascon, even though they really should hate him for trying to steal their extra gold. But okay.
Yep.
Oh, and it's like, hey, are Ben and Ned controlling the ship? Yeah, but we're close to the coast. They'll be fine. Yep, but they're bad luck.
I do like how I like Pierre throughout this part where he overhears the crew talking behind the captain's back and behind Ben and Ned's back and kind of sneaks up on them and be like, if you want to speak lies or start spreading rumors about someone, how about you do what you can do about me, but say it to my face. And he's like holding a knife as he says this. So, okay, we get it. But then Pierre, being smart but also loyal and a good ally to our heroes, immediately goes to Theron and it's like, hey, here's what's going on. They're saying this. And Theron, works to then keep Ben and Ned safe by putting them in his cabin and placates the crew by keeping them out of sight.
mhm.
I like this bit where at first Theron like just defends them like, well, I don't care if people don't like him steering the ship, and then he leans over to Pierre. What exactly are they saying? Like he's willing to at least listen.
Yeah.
He's a good captain.
Unlike Vanderdecken.
Yeah. Unlike every other captain we've seen in the series.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Although, well, we've yet to see the French Navy. French Navy yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're coming.
Oh, I do like that captain when we get there.
Mhm.
Yes.
He's a
Scuttlebutt
specific type of captain.
Go ahead, Matthias.
Scuttlebutt is a nasty thing when it's paired with resentment or suspicion. And there's a little bit too much of that on both the French side and on the British side. Things are going to go great.
Unfortunately for both Ben and Ned, they've been having a lot of nightmares of late.
Mhm.
Stupid Vanderdecken.
Yeah.
I'm a hunt your dreams.
Go away.
Moo!
And there's the angel like, hey, you mind?
Cut it out.
And yeah, we have the first of two angels' commands.
This one boils down to things are about to go badly on this ship. You don't want to be there for that.
Yes.
Of course, it wouldn't be a sea epic without a mutiny.
So the angel's just like, so I know you're on a pirate ship. Don't take their gold. And when you get on land, run.
Yeah. And then we find out that the crew is they ain't happy.
Nope. It's mutiny time.
Yep. But you know what? To Theron's credit, he does a good job to stand in front of the crew and try to calmly talk them down and provide them with the money that like with their shares and saying like, look, here's your money. We'll get to France. We can all go our separate ways. We're almost there. And the crew is almost willing to go along with it. Their only demand is to get rid of Ben and Ned. It sounds like basically it sounds like a lot of them don't want to mutiny. Like it even showed that some weren't able to look him in the eye when they stood up to him, that they felt bad about this. Unfortunately, before they can finish their argument, hey, Captain, those look like a bunch of really giant bad ships.
What kind of bad ships? What kind of bad ships? The official French Navy. Oh.
Yep.
Clean up on the poop deck.
This was the one thing I did remember from this part of the book, like what happens to Theron. And it made me sad because as soon as I met him again, I'm like, oh, but I remember what happened, and now I'm sad.
Yep. And the thing is, when Theron's like, yeah, well, we're going to be in France, like, tomorrow, and then everything will be okay. Gascon's like, I'm a wanted man. I don't want to go there. Take us to Spain. We'll be safe there. And he's like, why didn't you say so earlier? We can go to Spain. It's like, we still want these two Jonahs off the ship. And it's like, while they're in the middle of hashing it out, oh no, French Royal Navy. Well, it looks like the crew's getting what they wanted, whether they wanted it or not.
Yes.
Now, and before we can be properly say what happens with the French Royal Navy, we have a flashback to 2 days earlier, where we basically find out what Captain Percy's been up to.
Yep.
Ultimately, his two ships, because he's still trailing his original, we basically were told that this small French fleet are basically they're about to go test this brand new ship with war games, and we have this pretty awesome admiral. Oh, he's not called admiral; he's called fleet commander.
Yeah.
Not sure what the
Guy Falcon Saint Jean de Monts.
He's so well liked in his own navy that they named the new ship after him.
Yeah. This guy's parents didn't know when to stop naming him, did they? Stick on a couple more there.
So is he voiced by one of the hair actors? Then?
Which one is this?
The Marischal.
Oh man, I don't remember. I'll have to go back and listen to it again.
We do find out he's a good man, where as he's working out strategies and working out the war games with his underlings, or like his captains, a couple of the crew come in with two villagers who say to him, like, we spotted a ship, and he even addresses them politely. He listens to what they have to say and then rewards them for their help. Like, this guy's nice.
He gives them each a ham, and they split a basket of eggs. And it's like, for a villager, that's probably a really welcome thing.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I like the little bit where he addresses the villager as sir, and like the villager immediately kind of calms down, like, oh, he's addressing me politely. Like, it's nice not to have another psycho captain.
Yes.
And it's like, sounds like pirates. Hey, boys, it's time to go pirate hunting.
Yep, like, all right, time to shoot me some pirates.
Forget our war games. We're actually going to war. Ha 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 ha.
Yep.
Yeah, the best baptism for his ship is baptism by fire. It's like,
gunfire.
Yeah, this guy is hardcore.
Oh
And
my
I mean, I know the trope of the French constantly surrendering. It's funny, but it's also inaccurate. And here we have
very inaccurate.
Yeah.
we have a fantastic case of French military might, and it's just fantastic.
It's like, there's a ship. Let's go blast it. And I will say, Matthias, obviously you noticed this. I didn't realize this until the very end of the chapter. This guy's name is Captain Falcon.
Yep.
Oh, no.
I literally hit a point in my notes. You could see where I realized it. I just went, Captain Falcon, ... Wait. Oh my God. So he Falcon punches the Petite Marie.
Yeah,
and turns it into a bunch of petite pieces.
But he's just like, aha, pirate ships of fate. Oh, there's the La Petite Marie. Let's sink her. And Theron doesn't, and his crew are at the point, they're like, hey guys, you still a mutiny? Hey, we got Navy chasing us. Oh, hey guys, can we put this on hold for a minute? Yeah, let's put this on hold.
Can we put a pin on that? We'll take it up at the next union meeting. Which, yeah, good full credit to everyone. They immediately start working together, though Theron is not stupid, and it's like, yeah, I know exactly what's about to happen. I'm going to get Ben and Ned and the treasure off the boat. And bye, guys. I'll see you soon. And ignore that jib spar sticking out of my neck now. It's okay. I'll be fine.
Yeah, this is so sad.
Yeah, he puts Ben and Ned in the longboat and apparently hides his share of the gold in their middle seat and says, guys, get out of it. Row like you've never rowed before. I've never rowed before. Well, good time to start.
And
Putting one paddle in front of the other.
yep, there's a
and-
really great moment though. Gascon tries to stop Ben and Ned leaving. He's like, "Wait, what are you doing?" And he's like, "Well, didn't you say they were Jonahs and they should be off the ship? Well, here's them getting off the ship.
They're taking our
Now
gold.
stand down." And it's like, he actually does it. Gascon is slime. He's a coward, and he wilts under his captain, despite holding a gun and pointing at him. And it's like, I think I can hear Vitch laughing in the distance.
Bad Red and Vitch are like, man, this guy's a wuss.
Yes. And then they realize, little too late. It's like the gold's all on the little boat with Ben and Ned. Get back here, shoot them. And it's like, you're gonna shoot the little boat and sink it. Then you'll definitely lose the treasure. Great idea.
No one said Gascon was smart.
No.
Yeah.
They did
But
not.
Thoron then kills Gascon with his sword, and then suddenly just all hell breaks loose, and cannon fire starts tearing the ship to pieces.
It's basically that last scene in the third Pirates of the Caribbean movie when the bad guy's ship is blowing up underneath him. It's pretty much how I read it. Anyone else know the scene I'm talking about?
I haven't seen the movie, so.
I will nod my head and pretend the answer is yes.
So, meanwhile, Captain Prissy is witnessing this and has decided
hell
he needs a
no.
he needs a new pair of shorts.
Bring him his brown pants.
Yeah, pretty much. Now he's Captain Brown Jack.
Oh, gross.
no.
And
He's
so,
just like, let's get away, run away, run away.
yeah, and he's like, "Are you kidding?" And they immediately get surrounded, and Captain Falcon, and I can't stop calling him that now, I does this really well, where he listens to the crew first, and then Captain Prissy gets escorted in and starts trying to demand things. He's like, "You will release me now," blah blah blah. And Captain Falcon looks up and he's like, "You're an idiot. You've been caught. Yes, you're part of the British fleet. You're now going to serve as a war criminal. Bye."
He's not in an official British Navy where he would have rights. He is a privateer. You're only a step above a pirate, as far. And just because you're holding a letter of marque from England does not mean France won't prosecute you as a pirate.
Right.
It actually makes it worse because he points out it's like, you have a letter of marque or reprisal. You are like the worst person on the sea. It's like, he actually calls Red Jack like worse than a pirate because he's a paid pirate.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
I mean, if
he's
you
like,
miss,
"I have a written document. Yes, thank you. I needed some toilet paper."
if you missed our discussion last episode about the difference between a pirate and a privateer, here's the short version. There's not much of it. In the era, nations would literally basically hire sails or mercenary ships that would fly under their respective colors, but they're basically pirating for that nation. And as pointed out here, their rival nations could literally prosecute these guys as pirates. Just because you hold a letter of marque does not make you immune to prosecution. Had Captain Prissy been an official British naval officer, you would have been afforded some official rights. Yeah, taken as a proper prisoner of war and wouldn't have been treated as badly. But he's a pirate by another name.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Now he has
So-
the right to remain silent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except
And
he
I-
won't.
I
And
love
he'll throw
how...
a tantrum.
Yes.
love
It's
how-
beautiful.
Oh, go ahead.
Red Jack just throws this tantrum, about not being treated well. And the Marechal's just like, no. And proceeds to throw him in chains in with the rest of his crew. And he
This
gets
was
a little,
beautiful.
actually, wait, no, a lot of payback.
So,
Yep.
hey, and then and literally we're told the Marines guarding the cells, they're like, hey, what's that sound? Oh, no, it's the crew just beating up their former captain. Should we do
I
anything about that? Nah.
I love the line. I think that crew did not love their captain very much. Understatement of the year. Oh, bye, Captain Prissy Pants. We won't miss you.
Yep.
You know
Rest
what?
in-
Well, it was sad that Theron, Pierre, and Anaconda died throughout the section. At least the villains got what was coming to them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Rest in agony, Rejectile. Worst of luck to you.
Now, I have a question. I'm almost curious what the French fleet would have done had Petite Marie just surrendered. Like, had struck up the white flag and said, okay, whatever. Yeah, they would have been taken prisoner as pirates, but do you think they would have blasted them out of the water?
I don't think they really gave them a chance to surrender.
No, they really
I-
didn't.
They sort
Yeah.
of just started shooting.
I was gonna say, isn't this like a brand new ship that he wanted to try out? He's just like, my new toy! Look, pirates!
Look, a target.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that
This was-
somebody who's not French Navy? Let's kill it.
Yeah. This was
And-
not a let's try to take prisoner situation. This was a shoot first, shoot later, shoot some more. When the thing's in splinters, see if there's anything left.
So yeah, and where the chapter ends with a poem that basically is just like, well, this chapter of their life is over.
That happened.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, and yeah, the Dutchman haunts the seas and waits for Ben and Ned to come back.
Yep.
And here's the thing, book 2, because this is only divided into 2 parts,
Mhm.
and we're still doing 3 episodes because I say so. I'm the producer.
Because there's exactly 30 chapters, so it's perfect, actually.
Right. Yes.
The book 2 literally gives us a map of both what we just saw and what we're about to cover. And here's the sad part: the Petite Marie and Prissy's ships were within pretty close spitting distance of Spanish waters. Now, there was no Spanish Navy coming to save them, nor would they save them. It's like, oh, pirates! Hi, pirates! And would have shot them just as easily. But they were trying to escape French by getting into Spanish waters. They were pretty close. But not close enough.
Yep.
But back, now we begin the second portion of this.
Which is my
And-
favorite. It's my favorite part of this book because, well, obviously, this is very obvious, but there are more women in this book, so I like it better. I'm very
One of
biased.
them is an evil psycho witch, though.
It's great.
Wait,
I
are
know-
you talking about the prissy lady from the town?
No, I'm talking about the villain.
I know.
Like the
I know.
psycho cave-dwelling maniac.
Who is probably one of the best villains that Brian ever wrote because her character is just. Well, I mean, we'll get there, but it gets
Yeah.
even more so come part 3.
Noted.
It's just amazing.
So it literally begins with Ben and Ed like, hey, we don't have any food. I mean, we're on French soil, and it's raining, and we should probably, get to shelter. We're immortal. Yeah, but I'm still hungry.
Yes.
Yep. I do like this little bit though, where like we haven't seen these two just off on their own for a while, so even though it's this unknown, like they're in unknown territory, it's cold and creepy, but they still have each other, and you can see them working together and sticking together, and I like that.
Yeah, and I think it does say that they're kind of grieving Theron, like with what time they had, with not, that was not devoted to like trying to survive, but they were just kind of grieving him. And I just thought he's probably one of their first because it was Luis, and then it seems like the 3 Anaconda, Pierre, and Theron were their next friends that died. So this is like the beginning of them figuring out how to be immortal and grieve all your friends that die.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so Ned then goes like, "Hang on, I found something. Let's go check it out. Some annoying dude, some fat slaver guy. Let's hit him."
Why-
Yeah,
why
this
is
is a weird scenario to come up on. They find this sleeping fat dude next to a fire and a chained and gagged girl about their age.
Yep.
Yep.
I'm
Why-
glad this is a PG series because otherwise the implications of that are pretty dark.
Yeah.
I'd say the implication is once we get to meet her, he just wants her to shut up. Like, let's be honest.
I mean, that is true. But there is, it's a pretty terrible trope of ugly guy keeping pretty girl captive. I
Yes.
mean, make of that what you will. But
Yeah.
I've seen it way more than I have any desire to in media.
But
So-
I do like Kare a lot.
Yep.
How do they say the name?
Kare?
Kade? Okay.
Yeah, like with a yeah. I
Her-
believe.
her-
So
full name
Karena?
is Karena, yeah.
Yeah.
they free her, and her first action is to bash the guy with the club.
Yep.
Rusa Nodre would be proud.
Actually,
And-
now-
As she continues doing it, I was like, Ranguvar Foeseeker would be proud.
Yeah.
And Ben literally has to stop her from beating him to death. Like,
Yeah.
hey, what are you trying to do? Kill him? Yeah.
Yes. And she's like, yes. He's like, oh, well, don't do that.
She has rage. It's fine.
Rage. Despite all her rage, she's still just a rat in a cage.
No. And they're
You know-
going to, they basically exercise the better part of valor here. We're
Run
getting
away!
at it.
Yeah.
Kare is pretty much Mariel in human form.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking she's sort of like a female Gonth because, well, without a lot of Gonth's jollity, but she's a good singer and she is a pickpocket. I was like, finally, like in Redwall, I don't think we ever get a female thief. And so I was like, ooh, a female thief. That's cool.
Gomph is more like Robin Hood, though, with the, like, steal from the rich and give to the poor, which hers is more steal from the rich and give to myself.
Yes. Well,
So Ben and Kare make their getaway, and they've been together for maybe like an hour or two, and they fight like siblings. It's incredible.
And I do like how eventually where Ben's like, I don't really want to tell you my tale. Well, I don't want to hear it. And they both can just kind of glare at each other and then just start laughing.
yeah.
Like, I thought that was good. And then, see, Kare doesn't really take well to traveling salesmen. Like, all of a sudden, this normal-looking guy kind of walks in, and she tackles him, steals his knife, shoves her foot down on his back, like, who are you? I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
What?
I can't hear you. His face is in the ground. That's no excuse.
Has to get Ned to do the whole tackle thing to get her off.
Yeah. Ned used tackle. It was super effective. Yeah, this poor guy Dominic is like, why did you beat me up? I'm just a random traveling face maker. You do what? I draw things. Okay, maybe you should lead with that next time.
I'm
like him.
okay.
Spits out a tooth. I'm not okay.
I
And
like him a
now-
lot too.
Yeah, I like Dominic.
Yeah.
I will say this though, because he says how he's a he's a face maker. Like, he draws what is inside of people. Like, he doesn't just see what they look like outside. And he draws what's it called? He draws Ned. And they say that he captured Ned perfectly. I disagree. He forgot that Ned was funny.
Honestly,
I don't know if
though-
I buy this gift.
Honestly, though, in my mind ran when I first read this, like, he's one of those amusement park character artists, isn't he?
Oh, see, I was thinking was like I got a Skyrim thought of like, do you work at the Ragged Flagon in Riften Sewers?
Oh no! I get that reference.
But yeah,
But-
he and then he's like, let me draw a bed. Nope, I am not drawing him.
Like, nope, 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 nope.
Error alert! Error alert!
Yeah.
We're not
And I
right.
do like the book then makes the joke for us because he draws a picture of Kare and she goes, "This is mine now."
Yeah.
Moreover, he basically is like, hey, I totally know what you are. Don't ask me how, but I'm not going to reveal your secret. Oh, thanks.
There always
Yeah.
seems to be at least one character that kind of understands that Ben is something more than what he is,
Mhm.
than what he appears.
I have to point out, though, there's a big error that Brian left in here.
Hmm.
He describes Ben through the eyes of Dominic as having over half a century in his eyes.
I noticed that too.
Yeah.
According to the
Oh, I didn't even
dates,
notice that.
yeah, according to the dates in this book and the first book, Ben is 20 years old, 22 at most.
Yeah.
I know what Brian was aiming for, but the timing is very sloppily done. It just you want Ben to seem older than he actually is. The fact is, the years you chose, don't let that happen.
Mhm.
Though, to be fair, the amount of stuff that Ben's gone through is about half a century's worth of stuff.
Moreover, after all of 2020 so far, I think we can all agree that yeah, sometimes a year can be longer than the others.
Yeah, this year there. Wait, Katie, was it you that sent that video where it was like
Yes.
this year has had like 18 years in one or something?
Yeah, those have been Folds video.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. We've
So-
had quite the decade this year.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm ready for one of the other day. One of my coworkers dated something in our payment system is 2030, and I was like, "Look, I know we're all eager for 2020 to be over, but we don't need to go that far yet." Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of cool that Dominic can see the secret, but we're not told how he figures it out. Maybe it's through supernatural, since he can apparently see into your soul. Or maybe it's just he's a really smart guy.
Yep. This was the point where I might be the only one who gets this, because I'm probably the only one who played this game, but it described Corey as fierce, quick-tempered, good heart. She uses a knife. She's Kid from Chrono Cross. She just needs an Australian accent.
Yep, you might be
Literally
the only one who
describes
got
one of
that.
the main characters in that game.
So yeah, we now have our Harry Potter trio.
Yes. I was
You
just
know
gonna
what?
say
No.
the
I need a better reference. Because of J.K. Rowling of late.
Well, yeah. But the thing I like about Kare is that she doesn't have a lot of right now. I mean, I think she does have compassion, but she also has this very strong sense of like self-preservation and survival, because like it doesn't seem like the world has been very good to her. So she's just kind of like has this hard sort of exterior that people need to kind of work through in order to get to know her. And I think that's really realistic and cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
By the way, I just sent a link to a picture of Kid from Chrono Cross. I think you will agree that this is correct. For the
I got a 503 service unavailable.
Oh,
error.
God. Bleh. Darn it.
Forward. Ow, my browser.
Blast you, browser.
But yeah, let's get back to it. So we have our threesome at Row with our dog.
Yes.
There we go. Did that one work?
Yeah, that works.
Okay. I can't remember if they said she was blonde or not, but yeah, that's who I'm picturing now is correct.
I think she has like darkish hair.
Oh. Well. Oh, poop.
Ray admits, like, I kind of feel bad for treating you like that. So, you got any food in your satchel? Nope. Oh. Well, we need to find a stream or lake here to get some fish. And that's like, hey, I'll find some water. Yeah, but the two telepathy are like, I can find some water. So, but now we have to pantomime because we can't let them know you're a
You're a
secret.
talking dog.
And even that's like, as if I didn't know things I have to do to impress folk.
What is it, boy? Did Timmy fall down the well? Did you find some fish at the lake or the river, whatever it is?
Bark, 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 bark. What's that?
It's
You
kind
can
of rough
restrain
understanding
water.
him sometimes.
You can help her fish. Bark, bark.
I mean,
Boy.
I guess it's better than him, being Scooby Doo.
Row.
So,
At least he's
So
not
yes.
Scrappy Doo.
oh.
he's
So they-
he's a little too old to have puppy power.
So yes, they catch fish, and it's like, hey, yay, full belly. We like fish.
Food.
Oh, and we should probably go to that little town that's having a festival.
Sure, I'm sure nothing will go wrong with that.
Of course not.
Oh, and Corey points out that she's a singer and she sings a song at the end of the chapter.
Mhm.
I think Brian makes Corey a singer just so that he could write more songs for this book.
I am very sure you're right.
Of
yes.
course.
No comment.
Well, and also the woman who plays her in the audiobook has a quite lovely voice, so there's that too.
Oh, good.
Mhm.
Because that's kind of a part of her character. I mean, if
Yeah.
we're talking like if she's like drunk karaoke voice, it really wouldn't sell well.
As long as she
Right.
doesn't sound like Dottie from Lord Brocktree. Nothing against Dottie from Lord Brocktree, but she could not sing.
Indeed.
I noted. But then, and the angel's just like, oh, wow, you guys already got your land? Well, here's your next command. So you're going to meet some guy who doesn't have kids, yet you need to help him out, okay? Okay, I'm gone.
Yep. I have to go now. My planet needs me.
But aren't you supposed to help this planet?
Bye.
Yeah, obviously the angel's a lot more poetic than what we're playing here, up for laughs here, but
But it's more fun to have the
Oh
angels
my
be
God,
like, yeah, go do this. Go help. There's this guy. You'll know him when you see him. It's all good.
and then Correan's like, I'll race you down the hill towards the town. And I love Ben and Dominic are like, nah, we're good. Ned, you go have fun.
Yeah. And then as they're just kind of walking by, they see her like just exhausted, and they're like, "So, are you on your way to the village too?"
And Ned's just like, she can't keep up. A puppy'd have more stamina.
Good morning, Marm. If you sit there all day, you'll miss the ferret Varun. I'm told it is a nice one, or a good one. That was good. I like the little banter between the trio.
Yeah. Oh, and then we get our welcome to Corneria guards.
I like swords.
Yeah, pretty much. These are the guards in any RPG ever at the entrance to any town.
I am Error.
Yeah. Yep. So Corey does her best tree impression because her speech is super sappy.
Yes.
I was actually going to say her. She levels her speech up to 75.
And she can do real tears, which actually I can too.
So roll
Secret.
deception check. Not 20.
Yep.
Guard rolls a 1.
Yeah.
And so then she says like, "Oh, we're gonna bring you pancakes," and I was like, pancakes with lemon and honey.
It's funny you mentioned that. I used my waffle iron this morning and and sautéed some apples with cinnamon. That was
Yummers.
Uh-huh.
I'm so
But-
hungry right now.
But they don't have waffle irons in this town because they're just doing pancakes.
No, they just have iron. And this was the point where I could not, like, because I got the Kid from Chrono Cross thing in my head, I could not get it out, so I was reading all of Corey's lines in an Australian accent.
In the audiobook, it's more like pseudo-Russian.
Oh, interesting.
I mean, her full name is Karena, so yeah.
Yep. And then they do find a pancake vendor, and they mention pancakes with salt. Is that a thing? Like salt on pancakes?
I mean,
I haven't
most
heard of this
pancake
before.
mixes have salt in them.
Yeah, the way they described it is like salted, like on as like a topping for them. Oh no, just it would maybe it is a thing in some places.
Maybe.
I've just never heard of it before.
I've heard of like sweet and savory like crepes,
Mm.
but not specifically pancakes.
Mm.
Anyway.
I mean, the way they describe this does not sound like traditional French crepes. It sounds like thick pancakes.
Yeah.
Right. With honey and lemon, and now I want pancakes.
Yeah, it says
Darn.
pancakes are 2 centimes each, 3 with butter, 4 with honey and butter, 3 with just salt and lemon juice.
Okay.
Maybe
so-
the salt is to play off the acidity of the lemon juice.
Okay.
Possibly.
I kind of want to try that.
Yeah, I do too.
But
My
they're
mouth is
no.
watering right now that we're talking
Right.
about pancakes so much.
Hey, guess
So-
what? It's not just the Red Wall series that makes you hungry.
Yeah, I know, right?
Indeed. So the pancake vendor, she pretends to be a psychic,
And she's really good
and I
at it.
would do a Miss Cleo routine, but that is way dated at this point. Um,
Yeah, but I just said, can you smell the bull hockey that Corey is cooking?
well, she's definitely taking after the Sela brand of seer, the charlatan, who's just
Yes.
observant.
Yeah, I
I
was gonna say
noticing. Wouldn't that be
she's
the
very
Wurga?
perceptive.
Wouldn't that also be the Wurga way?
Yeah,
Way of the Wurga.
the way of the Wurga.
Yep. And you know what? I was wrong. Coray's speech stat is almost completely maxed out here. I have no idea how she's getting away with this.
Yeah, I was like, she came up with all that through observation and clues. Are they on candid camera? Yeah, and I like her line later on where she's like, Ben, look pathetic. I'll look honest. And I was like, yeah, keyword is look.
Yeah.
And this was the point where I was like, no, wait, she's Aladdin. But yeah, so she swindles this woman out of a bunch of pancakes, though we're not told that she actually brought them back to those guards as promised, which is probably why something else comes soon.
Yes.
Which, by the way, this is the first of many really long chapters. I think this chapter was like 16 pages. And we get a great line because so they say that they'll have Dominic, draw pictures of people and she'll sing and all that. And this old man, they try to convince him to let Dominic draw his picture. And so he eventually relents and goes, all right, fine. It'll give my wife something to throw mud at when she's angry with me. That was great.
My ex-wife keeps missing me, but her aim's getting better. That's a Gravity Falls joke if nobody knows it.
yeah, I've watched the series twice.
More so for the audience. I know you've seen it.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it. I just
on
know
Disney
it's like a
Plus.
well-known joke.
yep, it's on Disney Plus. I recommend it. So, yeah, they and Dominic actually does his trade pretty well. He convinces a young but poor mother and child to sit for this until Snooty McSnooterson shows up.
Yes.
I wonder if she knows Captain Prissy.
You must
well,
hate me.
Yeah, she's just like, oh, hurry up with that peasant's picture.
You must draw my picture. Draw my beauty. Ignore the fact that inside I'm a rotting moron.
You said it, lady.
And Dominic's like,
And-
no, I don't wanna.
Yeah. and he's
Dominic's
like,
just like, I'm taking care of her. You will wait. I want to see your manager now.
yeah. And he's like, you will wait forever because I'm not drawing you. Go away. You're
And,
bothering me. And then Ned's like, I'll make her go away. And he barks at her horse and sends it screaming off.
That's
Oh,
mean
Wilbur,
of you,
I'm
Ned.
out of here.
So, but then we all saw this coming. Snooty McSnooterson, Snootmeyer comes back with the guards, and the guard's like, she's the one who lied to me.
I didn't get any pancakes with lemon and honey.
I guess he's salty in a different way now.
Yes.
Stop right there, criminal scum. Nobody breaks the law on my watch.
Welcome to Corneria.
Don't try anything. This is more like in Link's Awakening, where if you actually do steal something from the shop and go back in, he lightnings you to death.
Yeah.
He's like, I told you not to steal. So they're getting escorted through the grounds of some dude's house for some reason.
Local
And,
magistrate, in fact.
And so he's like, what are you doing? Like, well, they pissed off this snootiness, who cares what her name was, and the old man's like, no, leave them here, and besides, I don't care about her. It's about it's about time someone took her down a peg. I like this guy.
Yeah.
And so he starts listening to their tale, and they eat ripe pears, which sound tasty.
Mm-hmm.
How
And
many did they eat? A pair.
no, just one. Anyway.
Oh, and yeah, the captain who brings him is just like, aren't you going to punish them? I'm the magistrate. I will handle this.
And
But
he's like,
you're going to punish them, right? Off
no.
with you.
And he's like, I wanted to punish him. Nobody ever lets me punish anyone. So we then get another song, and for the most part, like some of the songs fit well into the story. Like we all, of course, loved the Jolly Captain parody
Yes.
by Weird Al Joby. And hey, but it does, for the most part, it doesn't feel like, hey, here's another song because here's some space to fill. Like in the last couple of Redwall books, like we neared the end of Loam Hedge, and all of a sudden there was like a page and a half song and then less story. So we then get it's like, because each person kind of does their little routine, like their trick of the trade or whatever, where I like the little comment from Ben where he's like, I don't really have a special skill. I'm just their friend. And the old man says like, well, that's one of the greatest gifts you can give to people, is to be their friend. And Corey sings her song, and then Dominic draws a picture of the old man. And something I like is, while we don't get images in the book for Dominic's pictures, the descriptions do a wonderful job of letting the reader just picture what they look like.
Mhm.
And it leaves it up to the reader's imagination.
And we also get a
Dead silence.
we also get a long story of where the local magistrate, I think it's called how do we say the title?
Comte.
Yeah.
Vicente is his name, right?
Vincent Bregon, Comte de Veron.
There you go.
That's the thing.
Yeah, that.
I'm calling.
Now you try.
Just clip that, and whenever we have to say his name, just like insert Matthias saying it.
Yes.
Matthias, can you do it again, but as Ben Stein as possible?
Okay, I'll try. Comte Vincent Bregon, Comte de Veron.
Perfect.
I like it.
But yeah, he basically like, so here's a long story about my family. Yeah, my family's always been in charge of this town, and I wasn't really keen on the idea of marrying for a political thing, but I was a scholar of two brothers. My younger brother was kind of cool. He's outgoing, went on adventures, and then he went up to the border between France and Spain and met this family called the Resins. Don was like, wait, what?
The Razans.
The Razan.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's like, basically we're told these people are they're I mean they fill the same niche Clooney did in the original book.
This is true, because they do say like, go to sleep or the Razan will get you. Like,
Yeah.
Which is like the go to sleep or Clooney will get you line. And they say they don't really know where the Razan, whatever the hell they are from. We do get a line where it says they might be from Carpathia, which my immediate reaction was, is their leader known as the Scourge of Carpathia and the Sorrow of Moldavia? Is he Vigo? He is Vigo! You are the buzzing of flies to him!
Thank you. So yeah, we're told that the brother falls in love with one of the young women of the clan and basically brings her back home. They get married.
The story: boy meets girl. Girl is part of an evil death cult. Girl, has a boy and dies in childbirth, and curses come upon the town, and they all live horribly ever after.
Okay. See.
Let's
let's
redo that. Yeah.
I don't know if anyone has seen this coming or will see this coming. If not, you should. I've got a problem with this. Okay, first off, this woman. Okay, we meet Maguda Rasan. She's a piece of work, right? She's like not great. She has this surprisingly non-evil daughter. We don't get any backstory of how she grew up, learned to think for herself, became her own person, decided to go against her mother. No, she just exists to have a kid and die. I don't like that.
She's the blue kind. Got it.
Jakes, we need to have a talk about women in refrigerators because you do it a lot, and I don't like it.
Matthias, you're gonna need to start saying these lines out.
I
be
keep
fair,
trying,
the
but I
brother
keep
is
getting
also
talked
only
over.
spoken of. Is
Sorry.
only spoken of off screen, and has implied that he had brain damage when he married her.
Now go ahead, Matthias.
Her name's Rosalina. More like Rosalina, am I right?
Rose dies.
See, Rose had more of a personality though.
Bluefin
Actually
dies.
appeared as a character. She was on screen.
Yes.
Point. She still didn't have any lines.
Eh?
Other than hurt. Bleh.
Yeah.
Besides her.
So yeah, the new bride of the younger brother, she dies in childbirth, and
Yep.
she has a son, Adamo. And her family comes like, well, that's thankfully they're pretty well reasoned. Like, yeah, dying in childbirth happens. Okay,
Yeah.
they're not angry about that.
Especially during this period of time.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but they're like, well, they want to see her now widowed husband, and he is too grief stricken to come meet them. The older brother's like, I'm sorry. He does apologize, but they're like, so can we have the kid? And he's like, his father's still here. No.
Right.
And they're like, but we want him. He's like, but no. They're like, but we want him. You will give him to us. We get what we whatever. We get what we want.
I mean, if the younger brother had given consent, sure, her family could have taken him, but he never did. So yeah, of course his uncle's going to defend him.
They then
And
put a spell on him essentially, and
yeah,
are like,
Grandmama
"We
is not happy.
will-
Yeah.
we will haunt you to the end of your days, and blah 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 blah. And eventually, they find out that the brother was poisoned and killed off screen. May I point out that the brother also has no lines of dialogue,
He does not.
and was murdered.
Allegedly.
And so then they essentially kidnap the boy through the shadows, pulling their best Batman impression. Now you see him, now you don't. And that's it. They leave and they randomly come by just to be a nuisance at this point.
Oh,
Yep.
they also threw with an arrow leave a message with the Luck that gets here like, we have him. Ha 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 ha.
Neener, neener, neener.
Basically,
And
don't look for him, or bad things will happen.
don't look for him. You won't find him. And if you try, we will kill you.
Yes.
That's not
And-
ominous at all.
Yep.
Not
And-
at all.
Then Ned has the best reaction to this story, which is just show me a Razan and I'll put a spell on the seat of his britches.
Oh, Ned.
Oh, Ned.
Oh, we did miss one thing.
Mhm.
This story takes place while they're in the kitchens of Convent Brigand of Veron.
Okay, you don't need to do that anymore.
Yeah, I know. Sorry.
That's why
I
I said
wanted
you
to.
can just copy and paste it.
I haven't decided if I'm going to do that or not, but we'll see.
But he invites them in to have a meal, and they meet his housekeeper / cook, Mathilde,
Yes.
and she is
Awesome.
a character straight out of Punch and Judy. She is amazing.
I like her a lot. She's great.
I love their fake fights that they get into. Like, you're stupid. You're stupider.
You're a poo-poo head.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically two really old friends who are, who I mean they love to dance or dance. They just love to verbally spar just for fun,
Yep.
back and forth.
Yep. And so he then says that, is it Garath is how you pronounce his name? Gareth? I'm going to call him Gareth. Star Trek. So Gareth is he's their blacksmith, and he tells them a little bit more about the story. And it was at this point where I would have loved an interesting twist if after they're told this whole story of this tragedy and everything, and Ben just goes, "Oh, that's a shame. What's for dinner?" You can insert crickets there if you want.
I might.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I thought I lost the connection. I was like, what? Wait, where did everybody go? They got tired of my feminist rants and hung up on me. No.
No, I
I
appreciate
have
your
nothing
feminist
to add.
rants.
I'm waiting for the next scene.
No,
So
Katie, I appreciate your feminist rants because there's some things, even a well-meaning guy like me can miss pretty easily. Like it didn't even occur to me about the fact that this is Bluefin by another name.
Yeah, well, it happens. To be continued in book 3.
Yeah.
Not really. It's a different sort of concept, but we'll get there when we get there.
not really. There isn't actually a book 3. So.
Book 2.5.
I'm 2.5 books old.
Oh, no.
So they go to dinner, and Ned's got a plan. And
Yeah.
I have to point out, this was a long chapter.
Yes.
All of a sudden, the chapters got really long, and I don't know what happened.
Nefarious Ned happened with his plan for his next daring heist.
Ned's 11. So the next we go to the next chapter, and we get to meet our villain for this section of the book, where unlike the last part of the book where we had Captain Prissy, who was pretty much just a bumbling idiot, who thought he was better than he actually was. And we also had the Spanish captain
Rocco Madrid,
who met his end at the end of a blowpipe.
Yeah.
This one sounds a lot more, and the final one wasn't really a villain. I wouldn't say Captain Falcon was a villain. He actually was a good person, and Thoron just happened to be on the wrong side of the law, and apparently didn't surrender quickly enough.
Yep.
Whereas this one, Maguda Oblongata, I guess. I don't know.
Okay, you say that, but in my mind, when I was reading her, when we first see her proper, it's like this is Rita Repulsa.
Yeah.
I'll at least give her she's the Elizabeth Banks Rita Repulsa, but she's Rita Repulsa.
And she's probably, as I said, one of the best villains Brian's ever written, because she's evil, sly, cunning, and dangerous. She's Clooney plus Vilu Dasker plus Ublaz with a little bit of Nightshade thrown in.
Yeah, she's great.
And she's fantastic.
I do like one of her brothers. I think it's her brother. Yeah, it's her. Are the 4 guys that are like her captains? Those are her brothers, right?
Her brothers, yeah.
At first I was saying like I'm getting flashbacks to the 3 Sons of Wurga, which we all know what happened to them.
Our badger exterminators.
Yeah, we're badger exterminators. These actually
you
sound
aren't wrong.
One of them, the eldest, Roth, Rawth. So I was like, is his name Saney Roth?
Oh,
man.
Ding.
Yeah, dang that.
It was so funny. I was just looking at this woman bossing 4 brothers around, and I'm immediately reminded of, sorry, Mom, my mom is the only girl, and she has 4 brothers, and she bosses them around. I'm like, oh no, I just compared my mom to Maguda Razan.
Well, at least you had a good Razan for doing it.
I love you, Mommy.
So, do they like Razaning each other?
Yes, maybe.
So, yes.
Let's get Razan with it.
I mean, that's not an unreasonable thing to say.
I could really go for some Razan berries right now.
Okay, Jeremy, you take over producer duties here because I'm done.
Okay, so Psycho Witch Lady. So Vigo the Carpathian decides to show her powers. Look into my eyes. Because one of her subjects, Louise, there's the most stereotypical Spanish name ever, tried to steal a pathetic little necklace. And so she's like, put the necklace on. Look into my eyes. You are getting choky. Very choky. You have dry ditch fever. You're dead. Look at
Yep.
me. I'm on a horse. So yeah, basically she gets this guy to die just through the power of suggestion.
It's pretty impressive.
Yep, so that's creepy. And we get a good moment too where his brother or his sorry, her brother her brother actually reaches out to the necklace and hesitates, and she's like, it's just a necklace. He died because he was an idiot. And he's like, okay, I'm gonna run away from you now. And so Sani Roth or Sonny Rath, whatever his name is, shows up and gives her like a report saying like, hey, we found, she has to keep yelling at him, which is kind of funny. She's like, what news of insert Matthias's speech here about the guy's name. Speak true.
Comme Vincent Bregon, Comme de Veron.
And they said, I never saw the old man. He's like, did anyone new show up? And so he's like, just some younguns. Tell me of them. Didst thou not hear me say I want to hear all? And he's like, no, because you didn't. But I'm not going to tell you that, because then you're going to stare at me and make me choke myself to death. So he tells her about, the three kids and their dog. And basically he's like, if we mess with them, we'll probably not get away with it because of those meddling kids and their dog.
Oh, God.
And when she says, dog? He said nothing about a dog. What manner of animal was it? Of a breed they call Labrador. It's like the most complicated way when you say it was a Labrador. Black lab, a big creature, black 'twas. So anyway, he tells her all about this, and she goes, leave, I must think about this. So she starts doing like her little chant, mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the most psychotic of them all.
Seriously, honey, go see someone about that.
And so she actually peers into it and tries to see like into them, and she sees the Dutchman, and she believes capturing Ben will be a good thing because then she can absorb the power of the Dutchman or make a wish and wish for him. I don't know what the heck she really wants to do.
In my mind, and Matthias will get to your comment in a moment. In my mind, when she's trying to peer at these kids and sees the Dutchman, she sees Vanderdecken in some sort of compromising position. and he kind of looks over his newspaper and is like, excuse you?
I'm trying to use the ghost bathroom.
Oh, no.
Yeah, Makuta comes off as kind of part Ursula the Sea Witch and part Snow White's evil queen. And I think... I don't know how much to say, because I don't want to spoil anything, but I think her motivation can basically be summed up as, hey, that guy's evil. I want to see as much of that evil as possible.
I want it.
And it goes great for her. Just, to spoil it. It goes great.
Oh,
yeah,
of course.
I'm sure it will. I even said, I was like, oh yeah, I'm sure Maguda trying to see the Dutchman in all its cursed glory will go well for her.
So I'm right about him seeing Vanderdecken, like, when he's on the ghost bathroom, right?
Yeah.
So I just like the last line of this. She would bring the boy under her power when she had him alone, and then... Hey,
boss, are you monologuing in there again?
Do you want to fight about it? No. Don't make me stare choke you. Okay.
So we go back to where the kids are being driven out of town because that's part of their plan.
Yes.
Yep.
Basically, the idea is if they leave under peaceful terms, the resin will never accept them. But if they act this out where they're not supposed to come back, the resin might be a little bit more amicable to at least talk to them.
Yep. And it's Ned's plan, and we get a good show from Gareth as well, where he's like cracking a whip over them, saying like, "Get out of here already! Get off my lawn!"
God. Old man yells at Cloud.
Old man yells at noble Ned. So they run off, and it's raining and pouring. It's raining. It's pouring. The old man is probably now snoring as he went to bed in his nice house. And I like a good line here where Ned shakes himself off and he's like, bet you wish you could draw yourself like this. Us hairy dogs have an advantage over you pale, thin-skinned humans. Superior breeding, you know? He's so proud of being a dog, and it's so adorable.
I love Ned.
Ned's the best. And so, yeah, they find a little cave and eat some fresh bread with smoked ham and cheese, and that sounds delicious, too. I'm getting hungry. And they find out that the cave that they found is home to a boar, and they call him Mr. Pig.
I approve.
Thank you.
But since he doesn't have the meerkat with him, he can't kick them out. They kick them out.
Well, yeah.
Knew he was missing something.
Oh, he was missing a luau, was what it was.
Okay. So, yeah, they find cave paintings. Okay.
Yep.
And we do get Ned and Ben are like, hey, I'm sure Vanderdecken can't follow us here. He's bound to the seas. Right?
Yeah. And he even said, well, Ned's like, I could have swore I saw the faces of them. And I'm like, Vanderdecken's like, I'm in the trees now.
Excuse me, I know I hate you guys, but I'm trying to find this creepy witch who, let's just say she saw things she wasn't supposed to see.
Yeah, I need to go hunt her now.
Anyone know where she is? No? No? Okay.
All right. It's like, come on, guys. Can't you help me find her? No. Is it because I treated you poorly and went insane and nearly got you killed? Yes. Knew I shouldn't have done that.
Yep.
So we then they go out and they meet. Actually find Ned goes out and finds the dude that Cray beat the heck out of.
Yeah,
And
Ninja Ned sneaks around and finds the trail our heroes need to follow.
yeah. And his name apparently was. She had mentioned that he had played a clown and she was a singer, and they would, take money, and they actually did work together. Apparently, his name is Cut Purse the Clown. Who the heck would trust someone with that name?
I don't know what you're talking about. He seems pretty legit to me.
Oh my gosh, we all steal down here.
I mean, there was what's his name? That Slagar fellow. He had a band of clowns, right? He was trustworthy.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah, he only took most of the children. He left Rolo,
Yeah. And then animated Clooney, he was trustworthy. He had those clowns.
Those were his troops. They were just stupid. Those clowns, hey Clooney, those clowns with you are pretty good. Those are my troops. They're supposed to strike fear into you. Oh, they're pretty stupid. I know.
But the truly terrible thing is that Caray had used Cutpurse's own club against him, breaking his ankle.
Ow.
The Razan forced him to walk on that ankle.
Sucks to be him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, he's a
well.
terrible person, but I can't imagine trying to walk on a broken ankle.
So
No.
I've walked on a sprained ankle before, and that sucks. So
Oh,
I
it
can only
does.
imagine what it's like if the bone is broken.
Ow.
Yeah, I sprained/rolled my ankle while playing Ultimate Frisbee years ago. I ran into one of the people on my own team, and let's put it this way: when that happens, felt like my leg was moving, but my foot wasn't.
Yeah,
Ouch.
it's definitely a weird concept. I sprained my ankle pretty badly once. I don't even remember what I did, but like I got up and I was like, I don't feel like I have a foot. How am I supposed to walk? Like,
Yep, it's bad, and my ankle swelled up to the size of like a golf ball, and I could not walk for the rest of the day. Like I was limping everywhere, and I've done a lot of things to my leg and everything. Like if anyone's ever pulled their Achilles tendon, that sucks too.
ooh, I bet.
Yep. So yeah, I can only imagine what it's like if the bone was actually broken.
Yeah,
But-
I think I would just give up and lay down. Like, whatever, kill me. I don't care. Take me to the evil witch lady.
I kind of did with the rolled ankle. I was still living with my parents, and I called them up. It was on July 4th too, so it really sucked. And it's like, hey, I rolled my ankle. I know we have an ace bandage. And my mom's like, yeah, you should put the ace bandage on. And I was like, okay, where is it? And she goes, on the second floor.
Oh no.
I tried crawling up the stairs. It didn't work.
Oh man. Yeah, I had to walk down to the nurse, like in my college campus. I walked down to the nurse and I had my guide dog, and she was so sweet and slowed down for me because she knew that I was in pain or something. It was weird, but
Oh,
it was very nice.
yeah, but
I had to be I won't say guide dog, but the equivalent. In elementary school, my best friend managed to, I don't know how, every single school year she sprained her ankle. So much so,
Oh
she
no.
got a pair of crutches, just specifically because it kept happening. So whenever it happened, I was the one that would help her get down the stairs to lunch like 5 minutes early, because it would take her that
Aw.
long to go down the stairs.
yeah, when I was actually taking a summer college course at the time, and when I went, this was like over the weekend. So on that Monday, when I went into school, I got out of my car, and one of my classmates was like, "Dude, what the hell happened to you?" And I told him, and he's like, "All right." And he was actually really nice. Like he slow walked to the class with me as I limped, and one of my friends also saw him, and he's like, "What happened?" And then my classmate was like, "Oh, I just did it to him out in the parking lot." So I did have a good sense of humor about it until like 2 months later, where I kept retwisting it, and so
Oh,
I
no.
finally went to the doctor, and the doctor was like, "Okay, put the bandage back on, keep it on, or it's not going to heal properly." Like I was actually in danger of it not healing anymore, and that was bad.
This ankle tangent brought to you by Ace Bandages.
Please
So
sponsor us.
Yeah.
Yep. I will say, I hope back to the book. I hope the Razin get everything that's coming to them, because they're horrible monsters. And if Captain Prissy, who was mainly just a complete jerkwad, got everything that was coming to him, oh, I hope retribution for these guys is way worse.
Katie and I won't spoil it, but you will be satisfied, and I'll leave it at that.
I remember what happens to one of the characters. I remember what happened to Vigo or Maguda, whatever. I'm gonna
Well,
Vigo randomly.
I'm betting there's going to be some animal level justice, because apparently the resin have a dancing bear with them, and by dancing bear I mean one lid on a chain and a collar that has spikes digging into its neck.
So
Awful.
I remembered what's special about that bear, and I'm not gonna say anything else.
Let's just say the reveal is unbearably insightful.
Oh dear.
There's good clause to be upset about the bear.
Yes.
So anyway, they start following. Like Ned comes back and it's like, "Hey, I found him. Follow me, Ned the Noble Bloodhound." And this most of this chapter is basically just the crew following the villains and eventually trying to find shelter. And they're found by a creepy old lady who is. This part is kind of stupid, where they're like, "She can't see us. We're fine." It's like, she can probably hear you and smell you because you have a wet dog.
Yeah.
And
Yet, tired trope number 487, the blind old crone. And I'm sure Katie has thoughts on the character.
You know, I mean, it's Jake's first unsympathetic portrayal of a blind person in all the Redwall, like all of his works. So it really doesn't bother me as much, because it's like, okay, fine. If you want to do this trope, you can do this trope. I'm just gonna. It's fine.
and she's
But,
a villain too, so
yeah, but
Well, she also threatens to cast a spell on our intrepid trio and Doug, and yet they call her bluff.
yeah.
Right.
And I do love the moment though where she's swinging out her cane and like hurts herself and just goes, yeah.
Yeah.
That is the funniest. Like, what the heck?
I mean, I wasn't a huge fan of this, but then I get Krega, I get Simeon, who are both very, very wise, like sympathetic, beloved characters. And also, I mean, there's some strong females in all of these books. So, like, I have issues with it, but at least it's not like, you know, like the blind crone was the only blind person, and all the only women get to die in childbirth. Like he definitely has strong female characters and sympathetic blind characters. So I guess I can forgive him for this.
Well, it's
I'm still
also
going to complain about it though.
I look at it as if it's a villain, portray them in whatever negative light you have to.
Yeah.
If they're a bad person, who cares? So, like, I don't think it's bad if it's like if she was one of the good guys and was like the bumbling, stereotypical blind character, then yes, absolutely, we should be upset. But it's like she's a villain, so if she's portrayed as a dingus, I'm totally cool with that.
And the actress did a fantastic job of just like the voice that she had was like the most unappealing voice in the history of the world.
So like, I curse thee to the pit of Iblis and the fires of the damned. Ravens shall pick over thy bones, and maggots devour thy flesh while thou art still alive and praying for death. That was more like Krang from Ninja Turtles, actually.
Yeah, I do. It's like
canon now. It's played by they're played by Pat Fraley.
I'm fine with this.
It's sort of like a monotone, except for sort of raspy. It's like, I'm gonna curse you. It's like, ugh, stop talking.
It's that with a slight French accent. It's not super heavy. It's about as heavy as a British actor could probably make it if they're not familiar and practiced at that. It's unsettling.
It definitely is. Props to that actor though, because she definitely portrayed the ooh, go away. I don't want you. I don't want to hear your voice anymore.
No. Well, it also kind of looks like that she was kind of playing foolish, because afterwards she's sitting with the rest of the Rosin gang, and it says that she was well respected among them. So it seems like she was kind of playing stupid, because then she gives them very detailed information, and she even mentions that she could smell the dog. And it was like their breathing was gentle, not noisy like grown folk.
Well, our Uncharted trio are like, hey, and Ned agrees. There's like, hey, if she realizes we're here, we probably need to move camp, because I'm sure the Resin are going to probably find us or come searching for us at the very least.
Yep. And we've got her name is Gizzle. All right.
Giselle.
And we've got the dog Gers, who's then being led by Rouge and Damba. Really?
I felt bad for this Mastiff. I know he's not supposed to be sympathetic, but I just get so tired of the pit bulls and the Mastiffs and the Dobermans being portrayed as evil, when it's just how they're trained. I've met super sweet pit bulls, and it's like, no, it's a puppy.
I thought Mastiffs were usually portrayed as kind dogs.
Or depends on what
type of dog.
Depends on what you read. I mean, there's a famous Sherlock Holmes where they're basically just used as attack dogs.
Yeah.
Oh. I don't know. They're usually very. They were very kind. They were very. Yeah, actually, I just looked up Mastiff, and it says details: temperament, courageous, dignified, good-natured.
Anyway, the short version, they're like, the chapter ends here with the Resin's like, oh, we'll find them. Aha! And that's the end of the chapter 20.
We're unknown child exterminators.
So we leave our heroes on a cliffhanger. Who knows? Maybe we'll return to them on another cliffhanger.
Oh man, I don't get to talk about the other character who's really cool that we meet in a little bit, who I really like. Darn it. Okay, next time.
Next time.
Next time, Gadget. Next time.
Matthias knows who I'm talking about, I assume.
Yep.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I did the thing where I was listening to the chapters and doing other stuff. I'm like, oh, I'm on chapter 23. Well, might as well just finish the book.
I mean, pretty much.
I remember two things from after this point. Like I said, I remember what happens to Maguda the Carpathian, and I remembered what is up with the bear, but that's about it.
Yep, this was definitely fun to come back and revisit, because the only thing I remembered from part 1, I remembered Captain Prissy. I didn't remember his name. I remembered the song. I remembered what happened to Theron, and that's about it. That's all I remembered. And the only thing I remembered from this one was Kade, and that's it. So
And honestly, we kind of have an odd set of chapters here because we are literally ending one book section and then starting another. But no, this is still great. This is very well paced. You can definitely tell Brian learned from the first book. And I mean, he definitely divides the book into basically halves, and we're not doing halves, but it's the transition from one plot to the other is pretty organic, honestly.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
Yeah, it was book 2 starts off basically like right after book 1, and I forgot about that. And for some reason, I remembered it taking place like further after, but nope. Well, it's good that we connect the two, but it's not like you could actually probably jump into book 2 and not read the first part of the book and still understand what's going on.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there are a couple of key plot points, like understanding who Ben and Ned are, but other than that, yeah, it's pretty self-contained. And I know I've said it before, and I will continue to say it, that this is the best of the 3 books. Laguda is a fantastic villain. Red Jack deserved everything that happened to him after we left him.
Oh, yes.
And Anaconda's death, Pierre's death, and Theron's death are tragedies that make me very sad.
Indeed. I was really hoping Anaconda would reemerge. But
hey guys, I'm back, and what
Yeah.
happened to my ship? Huh.
Yeah.
No, seriously, anybody know see my ship?
I just fought a shark. I won.
Yeah, Anaconda Rip Van Winkles with a shark fight.
Yeah, he shows up later in the book and he's like, yeah, I beat up that shark. Why did you guys leave me?
That would be nice.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Oh. Yep, so next time we'll be covering chapters 21 through 30. And until then, you can find us online. Did you know that people could find us online?
I
Really?
did not. Where can they
Tell
find
me
us?
more.
Well, it's a good thing you asked. Because people can find us online at recorderonthewall.com. We
A
are on
website.
Apple Podcasts, Google Play Podcasts, Spotify, Clear Spotify. We are featured on the official Redwall forums. We are featured on the Rulelia subreddit. We have a Twitter account at ROTWPod, which we occasionally use. And by we, I mean everyone that isn't me, because I don't know how to use it properly. It took me 10 minutes to send one tweet once, and I was like, never again. And we also have an email address, rotwpod@gmail.com. Send us emails, I don't know, with stuff. Leave us reviews on the podcasting websites if you would like to. Hint, hint, check to see if we have any new
I'll do the thing.
Yeah. To the review mobile. Da-da-da-da-da. So yeah, feel free to leave us a review if you like, or just just hit the 5-star thing. You don't need to say anything. That's also cool. And yep, those are the ways you can find us. You can get in touch with us if you have any request. Because as you might be aware, we're probably gonna be doing a food episode very soon. So if you have any specific Redwall recipes you would like any of us to try, making, let us know. I am not going to try making the hot root soup again. I learned my lesson that time.
No, we don't have any new reviews.
Okay.
But wait, there's more.
If you act now.
If you contact us now, you can be a guest on the show too. We'd love to have you.
Yep.
And it won't cost you 3 easy payments of $19.95.
Though if you want to give us 3 easy payments of $19.95, we won't say no.
Being a guest on the show is fun. I was a guest since Madame Mayo Part 1, and they haven't been able to get rid of me. I just keep coming back. Like a bad horror movie. I just keep coming back.
Well,
God, that was a long time ago now.
I know.
Until our next episode, folks, I'm Pete.
I'm Jeremy.
He's Jeremy.
Were you saying
Wait,
you're
what?
Jeremy? What? I'm the host.
Oh shoot! Did I zap you guys with that body switcher again?
And I'm Drew.
Wait, what?